Okay. Tonight is certainly not a night that's going to be difficult for me to figure out something to vlog about. I mean, I'm sure some of these I'm going to be kind of hard-pressed to come up with an idea for something to talk about. But I'm sure other nights, as with tonight, they just kind of fall into my lap. Okay, well, I just got off work a little while ago. And this video actually might not be up till tomorrow. I'm going to set it to upload, but it might not upload until after midnight. I apologize, but I got a fucking story to tell you guys tonight. This is something that has not happened to me before, but it was freaky. Okay, so I'm gonna, before I get into the story, I think I have to properly introduce our cast of characters for this story. So the cast of characters, me, Teching 101, lovable internet personality, although I am playing Matt, the mild-mannered Dollar Tree cashier. The other cast member is my co-worker, Todd. He is 1 year younger than me, and he looks very similar to me. His brown hair, he's just a little bit more narrow-faced, a little bit taller, but he is another cashier at Dollar Tree. He's the same as me. Then we have Kim, who is our assistant manager at Dollar Tree. She is management who is there for the night. We only have 2 Dollar Tree employees on staff at night. That's just how we do things. So she is, you know, there. Then we have Alberta, who is also an employee at Dollar Tree, although she was off tonight. She often comes in and she's really good friends with Kim and Todd and me, and you know, we just talk and bullshit and do stuff, and she's shopping with her daughter. Her daughter's name is Maddie. And I believe that's everybody. Except for our main antagonist, I guess you could say. And then we'll have him, which we'll introduce him as we go along with the story. Alright, I'm just gonna tell the whole thing as I go. Alright. So, I get to work. I start my shift at 10 till 6. The reason we do that is because that's enough time for the person who's working before me to hurry up and get clocked out so I can start around 6. So Todd was the one that was working the day shift, and I am coming in at 6 to replace him and work the night shift and close, and Kim is staying there with me. So I walk in, and Kim and Todd are in the middle of the store talking about something, and there's this guy next to them. And I have never seen this guy before. He looked young. He's wearing a backwards baseball cap. He's wearing very prominently thick glasses. They're black glasses, but the frames are very thick. He's wearing a yellow hoodie, white shorts, wrestling boots with 2 different shoelaces. I'm describing him in detail extremely well because, well, you're about to find out why. I have never seen this person before. Looked like he was about in his teenage years, maybe early 20s. Looked about my age. I've never seen this person before, but he's standing like right next to Todd and Kim. So I either figured either he's a customer that needed help with something and he was in the middle of talking to them, or he's a relative or a friend of one of the 2, because he was standing like right there. So I go up and I start, you know, chatting with them like, hey, I'm here, what's going on with you? Oh, nothing much. So I go, I clock in, I get my till, I'm ready to go. As I am doing all of this, the guy consistently follows us. We go back in an aisle, he follows us back in the aisle. We go up front, he comes up front. And even when I get my register, I get on register, you know, the register's right here, this is my computer, the belt's right here where stuff comes down and I ring things through. He is leaning on the side of my till because I bag the stuff and I put it on, like, there's like a wooden desk area where I can put all the bags so people can come get that. He's leaning on that, leaning towards me, like his arms are over it, and he's just staring at me. Like, I try not to make eye contact, but every time I look up, he's consistently just staring right at me. And this was in like 3 minutes of starting my shift, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm assuming he knows Todd or Kim, but I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is he staring at me? I don't know this guy. I started thinking, like, do I know this guy? Like, do I know him from somewhere? He doesn't look familiar. Well, anyway, he keeps looking at me, and I ring all the customers through, and after I ring up the last customer, I'm like, oh shit, do I say something to this guy? Do I just go about my day? Like, what? So I ring out the last customer, and I look up at him, and I'm just like, do you need help with something? Are you waiting on somebody? Like, what's going on? And he's just like, oh no, I'm just here. I got nowhere else to go. And I'm like, okay. So I go about the store, and I just kind of do my thing. He doesn't really follow me. He's still up at the front, but he is just lingering around. So eventually Kim comes out with Todd, because they were in the office. They were like making sure the money was straight and everything, like how you take down a till. If you ever worked in retail, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And they start talking about Todd going on his lunch and coming back and getting something for Kim from Walmart. And I'm thinking that's weird, because you never do that. We only have like no, Todd goes home. Like, we don't have a shift where it's like you work from the middle of the day to close, where you would need a lunch, unless it was like something very special, weird going on, and that wasn't the case. So I found what Todd should be going home. He shouldn't have a lunch. So Kim told him, go over to Walmart and get me something, get my usual thing, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I notice that Todd leaves, and the guy, let's just call him Glasses follows him out of the store. And after he's out of the store, I go up to Kim, and I'm just like, Kim, I don't know who that guy was, but no offense if you know him, but he was freaking me the fuck out. And Kim looks at me, and she's like, did he leave? And I'm like, yeah, he left with Todd. And she's like, oh shit, he better not have left with Todd. And I'm like, wait, what? Because I still have no idea what's going on here. So we go outside, and we see Todd followed by this guy going to Walmart together. And I'm like, Kim, what is going on? Is he like a friend, or like what's going on? Apparently what happened is this kid comes in Dollar Tree like 10 minutes before I get there. He says that my friends left me here. I don't have a car. I don't have a cell phone. I don't know where I live. I don't know my address. I just moved here. I don't have an address. I don't know my address. I just moved here. And so right away, some red flags should be getting sent up when somebody tells you they don't know where they live. Couple of red flags there. And he just seemed to like gravitate immediately to Todd. Like, he didn't address this with the manager, Kim. He just immediately like gravitated toward Todd and would not leave his side, like a fucking lost puppy dog. And it was really weird, because Kim is like, do you want to use the phone? We can give you the store phone. We're not giving you our cell phones, but we can give you the store phone if you need it. And he's just like, oh, I don't know any numbers. But when he's talking to Todd, he's like, oh, I remembered a number. Can I have your cell phone? Yeah, freaky. So, meanwhile, while this is going on, Alberta is at Walmart getting her car worked on, and Kim is aware of this, so Kim calls her up, and she's like, hey, can you keep an eye on Todd? So Todd meets up with Alberta. The guy's still following them all throughout Walmart, apparently. And eventually, Alberta, Todd, and Glasses all come back over to Dollar Tree. And they walk in the front door, and it's Alberta, Todd, and then Glasses is behind them. And Alberta gives us this look just like, he's still following us. So he comes in, and I'm getting ready, because this is like 20 minutes, half an hour, and I've learned everything I need to know. Like, Kim brought me up to speed on all this. I'm getting ready just to go up to the guy and just be like, look, you're freaking us out. You can't just hang out in here. You need to leave, like, now. But of course I can't do that, because then I can get in trouble. I'm not supposed to accost the customers. So he's just still in the store, still following Todd around. Me and Alberta and Kim are just kind of discussing, like, shit, I forgot to do something, actually. Damn it, I'm an idiot. I was supposed to text my boss I was home safe. That's how crazy this night has been. Oh, God. Okay, so anyway, eventually, we managed to get Glasses away from Todd. And Todd just... because we didn't want him to leave, because, you know, a guy following you out to your car, Although Todd did give him his cell phone. because he's like, oh, I need to go on Facebook. I was like, okay, so you don't know any numbers, you don't know your address, so the only way apparently that you're telling us that you can communicate with anybody is over Facebook with a cell phone that you don't own. Or you don't have a cell phone. So, yeah, that's your own dumbass fault. I mean, he's obviously lying about something here, but that's your own. It's like, oh yeah, I don't have a phone, I don't know anybody's number. Whenever I want to talk to somebody, I have to use Facebook, but I don't have a phone, so I can't use Facebook. So, Todd lets him have his phone. He calls somebody. And eventually, Todd gets away from him to the point where Todd gets out to his car and he just goes, he leaves, he books, he's out. But we're still stuck with this kid. We're still stuck with glasses. He's still in the store, still doing the shit, still walking around, still eyeing everybody, still hanging out on my till. Eventually, Kim just comes up to him and says, honey, you can't stay in the store. You need to leave. I mean, the security camera, you need to get out of here. You can't be in the store. So, you know, you can go to Walmart and wait over there for your friends or whatever, but you can't stay here. So he listens to her. As he's leaving, he walks in front of me and he's like, see you later, Matt. And it's always freaky when he says my name because I didn't tell him my name. I mean, I have a name tag. I understand he knows my name, but it's freaky when somebody I do not know that has just been watching random people all night, following the employees of a Dollar Tree around. It's like, I'll see you later, Matt. That's fucking creepy. So I'm like, I didn't even really register him. I'm just like, come back in here. I'm gonna, yeah. So he leaves, and he stays gone for 20 minutes, half hour. He comes back in. He comes back in, and he goes immediately into the bathroom, and he stays in the bathroom for like 10 minutes. From what I can understand from Walmart, apparently all he did in Walmart was walk around and ask people for money. And he eventually got kicked out of Walmart because you can't go into a Walmart and just start asking random people for money and you're going to get kicked out. You can't do that shit. So he gets kicked out and he comes right back over to Dollar Tree. Hangs out in the fucking bathroom for a while. Meanwhile, we're getting phone calls because whoever this guy calls keeps calling us, trying to get a hold of this kid. Eventually, they get through. Kim gives him the phone. And I don't know what happens because apparently nothing's like, oh, they can't get me or something. Eventually, this just continues where it's just like, it just goes in circles where it's like, give me the phone, I'll call somebody. Oh, they can't. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just going to stay. Like, it's just, eventually I get sick of this. I just go up to Kim, I'm like, Kim, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm not dealing with this shit all night. You know, I'm not worrying about kicking this guy out at 9 o'clock at night, but we can't keep him in here. We need to call the cops. Eventually, Kim's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. So she calls the cops. She's like, hey, you know, some guy, he's loitering, trespassing, following us around. You know, it's you can't do this shit. So he asks me. It's funny. She's in the office calling the police. I'm just kind of distracting him, trying to talk to him, trying to make sure he can't hear what's going on. And he eventually was like, so wait, do I just stay here? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know anything. He was like, well, I don't know what to do. He was like, I can't tell you that. I don't know what's going on. Eventually, he just kind of walks out of the store and just wanders around the sidewalk out front. Doesn't really go anywhere. The cops show up and start talking to him. And he gets arrested. And or at least taken away in the police car. I'll show you the clip here. Cookies.
So he has dollars.
He went to Walmart and asked people. He might have gotten something from there. You're white trash and you're in trouble. South Park reference. This is my manager Kim, by the way. Say hi to the YouTube people.
Hi, YouTube people.
Yeah, so that's that. But it was a freaky night. After that, though, about 20 minutes after that happened, after he got taken away in the cop car, a young lady comes in, and she's probably younger than him. This kid, I think he told me he was 19. This girl comes in. She can't be older than 16, 17. And she comes up to me, and she says, hey, was there a kid in here with really thick glasses and black hair? And I'm like, yeah, there was a guy like that. We called the police, and he got taken away by a police officer. And she's just like, why? And I'm like, well, he was in the store. He just kept following us around. He kept watching us. He was really freaking us out. I mean, yeah, like this isn't even like unusual. Like if somebody you don't know, like I can't just walk into Walmart and start watching the cashiers. You know, like okay, I can sit on a bench, but I can't go up to their registers and start just leaning on their registers like, hey, what's going on? That's what this guy was doing. So eventually, she's like, why did you do that? I'm just like, hey, look, he was freaking people out. We called the police. That's just what happens, you know. You know, we're not bad people. I'm not saying, you know, take him to the slammer. You know, I'm just like, we can't have him hanging out here. This is sending up red flags. Like, he might try to rob the place. You know, we can't do that. So she just like, okay, fine, I'm sorry. And then she just walks out the door, and I could tell she was really upset by it. I don't know if he was his sister or girlfriend or friend. I don't know. But that was the night. And we got calls throughout the night. Somebody called us right before we were about to close and just was breathing into the fucking receiver. So I'm like, screw this. I'm not getting... I walked out with my freaking box cutter. I'm like, it's not much of a weapon, but it's all I got. There's a lot of ways I'm willing to die. Getting stabbed or shot in a Walmart parking lot is not one of them. But that was my night where we called the cops on a guy. It wasn't a pleasant experience. You know, and it was actually really... I got really kind of nervous at some point, which I think you kind of do. I mean, under these normal circumstances, you're like thinking of all like the Jason Bourne action movie shit you do. It's like, oh, if that guy gets close to me, I'll punch him right in his face. But when you're like in this kind of tense situation where it's like you don't know what this guy's gonna do, you know, because he looked like he was not playing with a full deck. You don't know. Especially when he gets really fucking clingy, creepy up to you, where you start feeling like this guy could just, like, grab you and do something from behind. Like, you don't fucking know. Like, Kim calls the cops, and she has to go through, like, a whole list of, like, well, is he dangerous? Does he look, you know, does he have a weapon on him? Like, I don't know. Maybe. It's not that hard to conceal a knife. If he wanted to, I mean, he could have just grabbed me, put a knife in my back, and just, like, give me your fucking money, you know? He could have. Not saying he would have, not saying he's that kind of person, but it would have been easy considering. But anyway, yeah, that was my night. And it was pretty damn interesting, pretty stressful. I hope I never see that individual again. He was really freaking me out. Yeah. But anyway, that's that. Thanks for watching. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a more happy-ish story to tell you. But anyway, till then, Teching signing out. Whew.